I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord's Passover.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K. down in Florida. I'm Captain of 10,000 GEN.YAHANNA. We here to let you know 53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida. It's going down in South Florida, Cocoa Beach.
Friday, April 15th, 2022.
The lamb, the wine, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, you understand? Good music, good weather, the palm trees, the whole nine.
This is going to be glorious. Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
April 15th and the 16th. Don't just book for the 15th. Book for the 15th and the 16th.
It's going down Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
Moses told Pharaoh we need 3 days to be able to go out into the wilderness and serve our power the way he commands. You're going to have to get that off with your boss, with your slave master. So make sure you in the building. Cocoa Beach, Florida, April 15th to 16th, 2022. It's going down. We'll see y'all there. Shalom.
Black power, 144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000. 144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. You tuned into another episode of The Bible is Black. Of course, we say black, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. You're here with I.S.U.P.K. in Virginia. You understand, you in Virginia, you want to know, you want coming to the truth, sir, the Most High, 757-550-1204. All blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans of Indian and Negro descent. We are God's chosen people. We are the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. And today we're going to get into the Bible is Black. When we say black, that is who we are talking about. These 12 tribes that you see. Of course, you've seen the 12 tribes. You understand all of our tribes here. And today we're going to talk about what's in the Bible. The Bible is recorded, talking specifically about the children of Israel. The Bible is Black. And today we're going to show you Planned Parenthood in the Bible. Planned Parenthood in the Bible. You understand, all in the Black community. All our oppressors have always been trying to get us to kill off our babies. That has been their goal from the very beginning, to decrease the size of our family in numbers. And it has specifically been aimed at stopping us from reproducing. And simple Black Christian preachers and that have convinced our sisters to go and join our oppressor think that America's women's rights and feminism movement was to include her, was to include the Black woman, the Native, the Hispanic woman. It was never set up or created for our people. It was set up for our oppressors to exploit our people's desire to be a part of their society, thanks to Martin Luther King. You understand? Thanks to that, I have a dream and painting in the hearts and minds of Negroes to join our oppressors in their culture, our oppressors in their way of life. Like that is against the Most High. The Lord never wanted that to be. And it has been absolutely destructive to our people. You understand? So we're going to get into it. Planned Parenthood is in the Bible. You understand? Them telling us to kill our own babies is in the Bible. We're going to get it. Exodus chapter 1 and verse 7. We were in Egypt. As most Black people know, you believe you got roots and culture to Egypt. That's correct. We were in Egypt, but we weren't the Egyptians. We were the slaves of the Egyptians. We were who made the Egyptians rich, did all their work and all their crops, all of their farming for them. We were the ones that built their treasure cities, that they got rich and mass incarcerated us and had us in the ghetto, starving to death and killing and fighting each other, which Moses encountered, while they were also beating and oppressing us with the same wicked Black leaders who loved Egypt, just like the same ones who love America and tell us to be a part of their process instead of stay separate so that we can serve our God and be free from the other nations of people that they tell us to join. So we're going to get here Exodus 1:7, and the children of Israel were fruitful, meaning we had babies. The other nations of people, they have trouble making babies. Our oppressor specifically has trouble making babies. That's why he needs in vitro fertilizations for this and all kind of extends to help his inferior rod function better and all kind of pills and things to try to make him and his infertile woman have a baby. We never had this problem. Mexican and Puerto Rican and Dominican, you understand, Native Americans, Brazilians, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, you understand, so-called black people, the Negro, we never had such a problem. This has always been our oppressor's problem, and they have sought for ways to stop us from having these big, glorious, strong families because they knew how evil they were to our people, and they feared that they would have to face a repercussion from all of the evil that they did to us, that they're still doing to us. You understand? And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, meaning we had babies left and right. A man can have more than one woman, which is our custom and our heritage, which is another reason why your oppressor and the Christian church work to teach you that a man cannot have more than one woman, to stop you from producing and being strong, to stop you from being able to control your own land and territory and communities. You understand? With all of the wealth and money now that we integrated, going to all of these other nations of people in our communities, now they're going to tell you you can't afford to have that family, or that's a legitimate and an illegitimate child, or you should put that brother on child support, throw him out the house, and no, women's revolution, I am woman, hot girl summer, my body, my choice, nobody tell me what to do. And now you got a bunch of damn murders on your jacket and filled with a bunch of STDs from all of this freedom that your oppressor told you that you could have, that God never said you could have. You understand? It says, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty. We were strong. We weren't piling up in the damn NFL naked on an auction block, hoping for a chance to play for the top plantation in the country, for the Jacksonville Jaguars plantation or the Giants plantation, you understand, or the Cowboys plantation or the Cardinals plantation. These were just plantation games. Now you in the NFL and NBA gladly competing against all damn near all black people, is the whole league is damn near majority black people anyway, but that's where it comes from. But we were strong and mighty and we were separate from them, which made us even stronger. You understand? And the land was filled with them. Our community, our land was filled with us. And that's what we need. You understand? But we need to turn back and obey the Most High, because if you don't, you'll get powerful, you'll integrate, and then you'll go have babies with your oppressor. And then they'll start to tell the rest of your community, because you want to have sex with Miss Ann and Susie like Martin Luther King did, and then Jesse Jackson and all of your wicked Negro civil rights leaders, they'll tell you to get abortion clinics in the neighborhood. And before you know it, abortion will be the #1 murder of all living things, period, on the whole planet, chiefly Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. The #1 thing on the earth that is dying is these 12 tribes. Nowhere, nothing, no species is dying the way that we are. Nothing, not a roach, not a bird, not a fish. Like, we are dying #1 on the earth. You understand? Percentage wise, we are dying #1 on the earth. It says, and the land was filled with them. All right. Verse 8. Now, of course, Joseph, now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. A new king rose up, a Pharaoh rose up. Joseph, of course, was the son of Jacob. Joseph was sold into captivity by his brothers. Everybody knows his story, or you should, if not, get in class. He was sold into slavery, sold to the Ishmaelites, who are the Arabs, who have always been notorious human traffickers and slave traders. They sold them to the Egyptians. Egyptos, an entire empire that's built on slavery. That's how ancient Egypt was built, chiefly off of enslaving us, the same way America was built. Enslaving the Native Americans, Hispanics, the Mexicans, Black people. That's how every great empire is built, you understand? And the wealth that they get from it. Now, thinking that you are a friend of a heathen in his country, or amongst his people, you're your friend, this heathen is going to do what is best, which is look out for his people. You think you in a march together with your oppressor, thinking that you all one and the same, and we all the same because we all human beings, or we all, you're all women, or you're all human beings, and everybody is the same. You in your ignorance think you are a part of your oppressor's empire, thinking that you waving flags, standing with your oppressor, not realizing in your simplicity, which is why God told us never to join another nation of people, never to integrate. In your simplicity, in your Christianity, you think you and your oppressor are the same. They are having a movement to stop your simple behind from making future generations of Black people and Hispanic and Native American people. They are having a movement to stop you from reproducing, dummy. They're not trying to stop white people from having white babies. They're trying to stop you Blacks and Hispanics from having Black and Hispanic and Native American babies. That's what they're marching for. You in your ignorance, filled with Christianity and democracy and voting, don't know what you are doing. That's why God told you never join another nation of people. You understand? We're going to get into it. All right. So when it says here, there arose a new king over Egypt, verse 9, and he said unto his people, this is what the oppressors are saying to their own people. They're not going to tell you the same thing that they're having meetings about how their people can maintain dominance and power over a people that they have in captivity, that they are abusing and enslaving and mass incarcerating and starving to death in the ghettos, the barrios, and the reservation, and crippling the economy of the neighboring countries like Mexico and Puerto Rico and Haiti and Guatemala and El Salvador and Central and South America and Venezuela and Colombia and Peru and Bolivia. They crippled the economy so that you cannot stand on your own, so that they can have a permanent underclass of willing workers that they can slave and pay nothing, tribe by tribe. They have always done this, the same thing that happened in ancient Egypt. You understand? This is what the heathen are thinking. This is what your oppressor is thinking in Congress and the Senate. That's why they pass bills to mass incarcerate you. They pass laws to make sure that it's a crime for you not killing off your baby with abortion and killing your baby. Now they're going to make sure they penalize you for having these strong, mighty families. They're going to use your preachers to put a divide between you and your woman, to tell her that she can go and be an American and get rid of you and just have America's money, America's emergency services, America's police for the husband, America's law enforcement and court system is going to be her protection now. And then she's going to be in shock when they show up and murder her sons and daughters on the street on camera and wonder what's going on. We all American. We all the same. Why is this happening? I pay my taxes. I vote. My life matters. Like you get game ran on you, just like the serpent ran on Eve in the garden, because you're simple. You're naive. You think you fit a part of another nation of people, which is why the Lord said all throughout the Bible, never join another nation of people. Never have integration in interracial marriages. Never take the customs and religions and gods of another nation of people. All throughout the Bible is what the flood was about in Noah's days. Is why God separated all people in Genesis the 11th at the Tower of Babel. Is why we kept going back and forth into captivity every time we joined another nation of people. Is why the Chinese have businesses in your community more than you everywhere you are. Same with the Arabs, the East Indians, the Africans, anyone who wants to set up shop amongst you, the Vietnamese, the Koreans, they are willing and able to do so without repercussion, without any hesitation, because you have been taught to join your oppressors. They were doing this. It said, and behold, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we are. They run faster, they jump higher, they're inventors, they're doing construction, they're working in the fields, they're raising the cattle, the livestock, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're smarter. We have to oppress them. We have to hurt them. We have to be cruel to them, because unlike us, the heathen realized that there is no such thing as equality. You in your ignorance and your Christianity getting lied to by your preacher and your religious leaders think that you're a Muslim just like the Arabs are Muslim. You think you're a Christian just like the oppressor is a Christian. And that makes you believe that everybody is the same. But they set up religions and cultures so that he can say to his people, this is a tool that they can use to exploit your people. Verse 10, come on, let us deal wisely with, let us have politics with them. Let us pass legislation with them. Let us use their own sellout leaders who work for us, like Al Sharpton, to flood their neighborhood with drugs, and Jesse Jackson to get Planned Parenthood all in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. Let us get their own leaders to deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, lest they get too many of them, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies. Why would we join their enemies if they were treating us wonderful? If we were all the same and joining each other together, why would they be afraid that you would join their enemies? Because they've been starving you to death in the ghetto, because they've been murdering you at traffic stops. They've been kidnapping you and dumping your bodies in mass graves like they do to the Mexicans, like they've been doing to the Native Americans when they first stole this land, like they mass grave and murder and burned down Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Rosewood, Florida, and Lincoln, Nebraska, and all throughout Louisiana, and all throughout the Rust Bowl and the Bible Belt, so that they can establish their own towns and cities. They knew they have been cruel, unconscionable animals towards our people, and they were deathly afraid that if the opportunity presented itself, you would join anyone else to get your vengeance, because they knew how cruel they have been to your people. This is what the Egyptians thought, because they did exactly to us exactly what our oppressor is doing right now. That when there falleth out any war, they also join unto our enemies and fight against us. And so get them up out of the land. They want you out of the land. They want you out of the communities. They don't want you free to have your sons and daughters and your beautiful families. They're not cheering for you the way you are cheering for them. They don't want you to win the way that you want your oppressor to win, that you cheer for his NFL teams and his basketball and baseball and sports team, and you salute his flag and pledge allegiance to his government and his rules. They're not cheering for you the way you are cheering for them. They want to make sure they can keep a good stranglehold and a foot on your neck if you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, so that you are not free to be great and mighty. That's why Immigration Customs Enforcement is rounding up and throwing only Hispanics and West Indians in dog cages. They're not doing this to the Chinese. They're not doing this to the illegal East Indians and all the Asians in America. They just brought hundreds of thousands of Afghans straight after 20 years of war and dropped them in America just like that. This is only being done to these 12 tribes. You understand? And you need to wake up and pay attention and learn this for a good reason, why it's recorded like this in the scripture. Verse 12, but the more they afflicted them, the more they afflicted us, the more they multiplied and grew. We still kept growing. You threw us in the ghetto, threw us in the slums, threw us in the reservation. That's why they had to poison the water. They had to put lead paint in pipes. They had to put asbestos in your buildings. They had to spray chemical sprays over your air and dump the toxic waste in your communities to make sure that you would get sick and die and develop illnesses and sicknesses and all the organ failure that comes from the stress of them serving you bad food and oppressing your parents and wiping out your economy and burning down your towns and buildings and stopping your country, if you in Central and South America, from exporting your own goods and crops, to permanently cripple your economy so that they can set up drug cartels and give them United States military training and assault rifles and weapons to create a permanent danger zone all throughout Central, South America, and Mexico, so that you would be willing underclass of their society, so that they would never be short slaves to work for them, and you would never seek for your own because it was much better than where you left. The Egyptians did the same thing to our people that our oppressor is doing here in America. It says, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Meaning our oppressors are sad that you are having these children. They're sad to see you happy. They're happy to see you sad and suffering and struggling. They're sad to see you with all these sons and daughters and these beautiful babies and children and these big mighty families. That's what slavery was about. They had the richest economy on the planet. They didn't have to do all of that, but it was about keeping down future generations of competition. God created everything that he created is fighting in competition for its survival of the future generations and the dominance for their own. That's why the martial arts were created. That's why they have militaries. That's why they have border patrols. That's why they have law enforcement to enforce laws to keep a decent society amongst all of their people. That's why religions were created. Everything that God created is in fighting for dominance of their own species. From the roaches, you don't want roaches in your house, but they break in any goddamn way. From the rats, you don't want rats and mice in, but they are fighting for the dominance to get resources for their future generations. The birds, the fish, the shark, the alligator, the snakes, the bears, everything God created, the Chinese, the Arabs, the Africans, the East Indians, everything in God's creation is fighting for dominance. Viruses are fighting to survive. Bacteria is fighting to survive. The only thing that God created that is too dumb to realize that everything is on its own separate team and you must fight for the dominance of your own and not join everyone else are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Every other creature, species, and race understands that they are to fight for their dominance except you. You think everybody is on the same team. You think Rainbow Coalition. You think all lives matter means we the same. We are happy family. While they have counsel with their people to make sure that you are killing your babies at these statistics, to make sure that 45% of the abortions that you see all these oppressors with their signs holding up, 45% of these abortions will be Hispanic babies. And 43%, 50%, 60% will be the Black babies. So that between all our 12 tribes, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when you see white women holding up their signs, they're not holding their signs up so that they can kill their babies. They're holding their signs up so that your simple behind can kill your babies. That's the purpose. But you think you are a part of America because of Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and Ralph Abernathy and those civil rights leaders. So you think you are a part of your oppressive society the same way you still think you were a part of ancient Egypt. These are the statistics. You see the line, so-called Afro-Americans, you the #1 killing your baby in the planet. See the next blue line, so-called Hispanics. We are the same family of people. They don't even count the tribe of Gad. All on the reservations, all while our brothers and sisters, the Native Americans, brothers and sisters in horrible poverty, committing abortions as well, in suffering. Guess what? These two lines are the same. We're the same people. That means it's only us doing this. Nobody else is doing this but us, because we are the ones under the foot of the Egyptians yet again in another empire. You understand? It says, and the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. That's why they're oppressing you on your jobs. That's why they're oppressing and creating all kinds of rules and horrible things just to make sure it's more difficult for you, to oppress you and make life be with rigor. That's why they charge you for water that falls out of the damn sky. The planet is covered in water, but our oppressor will poison the water so that you have to go to him to buy clean water because he poisoned the water in the ocean. He'll make you pay for energy from the sun. You can't collect sun energy without paying him because he owns it. You can't collect wind energy without his permission. You can't store up too much water and food without his permission, or he'll fine you and tax you. You understand? Like, this is to oppress our people so that they can stand on us. You understand? That's what it says in the Bible. Verse 15, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives. The midwives are women that help deliver the babies. Now you got every other race of people delivering your babies. Black and Hispanic babies in the hospital getting delivered by everybody. Well, we were delivering our own babies in the land of Egypt. You understand? And we also lose a lot of babies, and a lot of horrible things happen to our sisters during their pregnancy because you at the mercy of a people who don't believe you're human beings. All of the medical procedures, they perfected many of them, you understand, experimenting and doing surgeries on slaves. They said you didn't have a soul, so you couldn't feel pain. That's why you go and tell the doctor you in pain. They don't take your Black or your Hispanic pain seriously. They figure you just trying to get high. You understand? Like, this is what the Lord wants us to wake up and see. There's a reason why everything that is happening is happening. There are no coincidences in life. You understand? Like, but we have not been taught the Bible properly. So we just figure, you know, we don't know why these things are going on. That's why every Black, Hispanic, and Native American is ordered by God. You are supposed to be in the I.S.U.P.K. and you need to learn what is truly in the Bible and get out of these churches, mosques, and these religions, man. Verse 15, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah and the name of the other Puah. You understand? Sound like Puah. You understand? Verse 16, and he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, not all women, not all lives, not all wombs, but when you do the office of the Hebrew women, because they were, the sisters was delivering the babies for them and for us. You understand? When you do there and you helping these sisters deliver their babies, only your people, not all people, if it be a son, if it's a boy, if it's a baby boy, then ye shall kill him. Why? Because your oppressor had the Negro Project going on centuries before. Before we were ever called Negroes, the Egyptians had the Negro Project going on. Our oppressors always wanted us to stop the future generations of our sons from being born. They always wanted to. They were always seeking to wipe out our future generations, man. And then Martin Luther King, that fool, taught us to go and join our oppressor. And now we got abortion clinics, 1,800 Black and Hispanic babies get aborted every single day in the United States of America. Thank you, Martin Luther King. Thank you, Jesse Jackson. Thank you, Ralph Abernathy. Thank you, what's his name? Al Sharpton. Civil rights leaders, good job. The #1 leading cause of death on the whole goddamn planet is Black, Hispanic, and Native American women murdering their babies through abortion. Thank you, civil rights movement. You understand? It says, but if it be a daughter, then she shall live. At one point, they were saying if it was a daughter, let the woman live, just like your foolish Christian church telling you we want to empower the women and the children. For the women and the children, that is a slave divide tactic so that you can separate the authority and strength of the community is that man ruling over the women and the children and all the resources that he will control because of it. You cut the man out the picture, the kids is in the street killing each other, and the sister having babies by everybody, worrying herself to death, everybody dying, strung out on drugs. Our community is filled with all the other nations owning the buildings, owning the property, owning the businesses, and here we are just biding time until the city gets gentrified and we got to pack up and move. Everywhere we are, this happens. It's the same thing that was going on in the biblical days, same way our oppressors has it going on right now. It says, verse 17, this is what is supposed to happen. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. These were righteous sisters. They weren't willing to kill the babies for their job so that they can have a goddamn career in America like Oprah, go and kill, shout out your abortion. Yay, we killed our babies. Now I can have a goddamn career at Safeway, at the DMV, at the security guard agency. Yay, now I have a career. As if you were going to grow up and be damn Oprah. So everybody had to kill their babies because your future was going to be so super bright and wonderful that someone had to die that you couldn't be a mother like everyone else. You understand? Like, this is what our oppressors did. This is in the Bible. This is the same thing that has been happening repeatedly for thousands of years. I bet your preacher ain't never told you this in the Bible. You understand? I don't know how black people still going to church as it is. I don't know how y'all still going to church. You understand? It's beyond me. I don't understand it. Like, this is what they want. They wanted to get rid of this, man. They didn't want you to have these princesses, these beautiful daughters, to become wives and mothers of future generations. They want you to be like Venus and Serena Williams, have that black father build you up and make you the greatest tennis athletes on the world, the first blackity black everything that all black people love and cheer and support for you against racist Europeans who didn't want to see you win. And now that you're number one, you turn around and spit in your father's face and go jump into bed with your slave master and breed children for him. That's dishonorable. But this is what Martin Luther King wanted. They want to stop us from having these babies, man. They want to stop us from having these wonderful families, all of these beautiful princes and princesses, all of our Native American babies, our Black, our Hispanic, our Puerto Rican and Cuban and Dominican babies. They want to stop our babies, man. They don't want us having sons and daughters and big, strong families because they know that the inferior rod of our oppressor, he can't produce families the way we can. The inferior fallopian tubes of our oppressor's woman, she can't produce babies the way we can. You understand? The Lord did not bless them the way that they blessed, that the Lord blessed us. And they, just like every other heathen has always been, they are jealous of the children of Israel. They want to get rid of Yesenia. They want to get rid of Rosa and Jocelyn and Maria and Kiki and Shamika and Kiara and Daisha. You understand? And Danielle and Deanna. They want to get rid of us, man. And Martin Luther King told us to join them, and now we think just like them and kill our own babies. Like, this is what the Lord was against this. The Lord told us our beautiful babies, man, our future generations, our sons and daughters, precious to the Lord. Our lives don't matter. It's a right to choose to kill us. You understand? Something happened to their children, it's the worst thing in the world. Meanwhile, 1800s abortion of our babies happen every day in America. You don't hear so much as damn near hardly a peep. Everybody in support smiling, waving your t-shirts so you can go and live hot girl summer and, you know, do whatever the hell you want. Like, that's against the Most High. We didn't think this way before we integrated. We didn't think this way before we joined our oppressors, man. Said committed to serving the black community. Serving the black community up what? Serving them a way to exterminate those babies, to get rid of those children. Planned Parenthood's motto, it said, you can't see the rest of it. It says, we turn all your positives into negatives. That's what this says. This is a Planned Parenthood banner. All of your positives. You go and pee on that stick to find out that you're pregnant and it turned positive. Planned Parenthood said, we turn all of your little positives into negatives. We're going to kill that baby for you. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. You understand? No other nation of people would allow this to happen to them, which shows you how trash Black and Hispanic and Native American leaders are, because this is an epidemic, man. Like, it's ridiculous. You understand? It said, and the king of Egypt called unto the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing and saved the men, children alive? Why didn't you kill off these babies? Why didn't you get rid of them? Why did you keep them alive to give them a chance to live and to live like anything else on the planet? The birds get to live. Imagine if the mama bird just started knocking all the damn eggs out the nest so that they crack on the sidewalk. Be no more birds. You understand? If the mama fish went and spit the damn fish on dry land so that they'll die. Because she want to have, you know, a hot fish summer. She don't want to be tied down having to be no mommy to no fish. She want to go on about her life and swim her best life. She don't want to be tied down. See how foolish that sounds? Well, that's what our people have been taught to do, because Martin Luther King told us to join our oppressor, and now we think like him, even though he's not killing his babies. You understand? Let's get some more. And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women. We ain't like your women. We ain't the same. We were in Egypt and we knew we were not the same as those Egyptians. They hated us and we were separate from them. And us understanding that was the best thing for us. Now you think Susie and Karen and Heather and Becky is your best friend and y'all all the same, y'all all Americans. So now you think just like them and gonna kill your baby while they talking to each other about how they can make more of their children. You understand? It's a game. You're naive. Christianity has lied to you because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, but they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. You understand? They ain't like that. Same thing happened. Matthew chapter 1, same thing happened to Christ. The heathen always wanted to kill off our babies. These were Africans in Egypt that wanted to kill off our babies. Same thing happened with our oppressor in Christ's day. Matthew chapter 2 and verse 1. Now, when Yahushua, or Jesus, as you'll read it in the English, was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king. Herod the king was an oppressor, so-called white man or Roman. Behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. And when he had, verse 4, and when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. This oppressor wanted to know where the king of the Jews would be born. He didn't care that he was a baby. He didn't care that he was a young, precious child and a baby. They don't give a damn about your sons and daughters. They don't care that Trayvon Martin and Tamir Rice was little boys and children. They don't care about who they're killing. These are animals. You understand? The lion don't give a damn about your gazelle babies, about your baby zebras. They out to cut throat and eat. These are beasts of the field that the Bible says. You keep thinking everybody is like you and your people. That's why they rob and exploit you to no end without conscience. You understand? And it said, verse 6, now we're in Matthew 2 and 6. And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. He's speaking of prophecy that Jeremiah said. Verse 7, then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star had appeared. They're saying, when did the star appear? He wants to find this baby. He didn't know that this was the Christ. He didn't give a damn. He wanted to find whatever leader it was that was going to free black people, that was going to lead the Jews properly, so that the people that his people put in charge, those religious leaders that Christ, the scribes and Sadducees and Pharisees, he wanted to make sure that the power structure stayed the same and no new chance for redemption came for the children of Israel, so that he can rule over us like any good heathen would want to do. You wouldn't want the chicken in your refrigerator or the beef in your refrigerator or the fruits and vegetables that you're going to pick off the vine and put in your pot and blend up in juice and drink and eat and cook and slaughter. You wouldn't want them to get free to be on their own so that you won't have any food. Well, this is the same way that these other nations of people look at us. You are the opportunity to sell houses and flip houses for investment properties. You are the opportunity to open up the job market. You are the opportunity for them for everyone to come up, because your society is destroyed because you don't have your identity, because the preacher teaches us, you know, we all the same, but everybody else in America is separate. But you the one thinking you on everybody's team while they all set up shop in your community. Let's get some more. Verse 8, and he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. You understand? Verse 13, and when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph. Joseph was Christ's biological father. He had sex with Mary to make that child, just like your father had sex with your mother to make you. You understand? Arise, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee to Egypt. We commonly ran to Egypt to hide amongst the dark-skinned people. We lived there. We commonly went back and forth because we had to hide from our oppressors. At this time, the white man, the Romans are ruling over us. We went and hid in Egypt. Christ had to do this. And be thou there until I bring word, to bring thee word, until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. The angel told Joseph that this oppressor is seeking to kill your son. You understand? Verse 14, And when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt. Verse 15. And was there until the death of Herod. He stayed there until Herod the Great died, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt I have called my son. Egypt. You understand? We hid in Egypt. That didn't mean the Egyptians are the sons of God. That meant that it was a prophecy pertaining to Christ, who was going to need to hide in Egypt, and then he was going to get word to be taken out of Egypt once this oppressor who sought to kill him died. They wanted Christ to be aborted and infanticide and murdered the same way they want you to murder your Black, Hispanic, and Native American babies with abortion. Planned Parenthood. All throughout the Bible, Planned Parenthood has existed. The other nations have plans on what to do with your children. That's to wipe them out. You understand? It said, then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly wroth. He was angry and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under. This white man went and killed all of our toddlers, everyone under 2 years old when Christ was born. That while you singing in church about the birth of Jesus, having your stupid nativity scene, they're not telling you, you understand, that Donald Trump passed, that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton passed an executive order during the time that Christ was born to kill all of our toddlers, infants, and newborns. That's what's in there. While you so busy singing in church like a dummy, celebrating the birth of Christ when Christ did not celebrate his birth, and Christ was not born in the winter anyway. He was born in the springtime. That is why 80% of these abortion clinics where Planned Parenthood is, they're in your Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. The ghetto, the slums, the hood, the barrio, talking about they committed to serving the community. Serving the community, that's what they want. All of our toddlers they kill. And you in the Roman Catholic Church worshiping the Romans' culture and their heritage, praying to their statues and stones and their Roman crucifix, that they committed mass murder, hanging highways full of dying people, languishing on crosses for hours and hours until they ultimately died of a heart attack, or they, you understand, they suffocated because they couldn't hold their body up straight. They would line highways with crosses. Christ was not the only one crucified on a cross. There's nothing special about a cross. When he was crucified, it was a man to his left and his right. Both of them were on crosses too. You praying to the cross like it's something special. Again, because you in the Christian church and they don't teach you what's in the Bible. This man killed all of our babies, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently acquired of the wise men. Meaning they were just coming. They gave an executive order from the Romans, from the government, the police. They went door to door, just finding and killing all of our babies that was 2 years old and under. Like that's what went on during this time. Planned Parenthood has always been in the Bible. The Bible is Black. It has always been talking about our people, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This has been another episode of The Bible is Black. Tune in for the next episode. Shalom.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord's Passover.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K. down in Florida. I'm Captain of 10,000 GEN.YAHANNA. We here to let you know 53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida. It's going down in South Florida, Cocoa Beach.
Friday, April 15th, 2022.
The lamb, the wine, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, you understand? Good music, good weather, the palm trees, the whole nine.
This is going to be glorious. Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
April 15th and the 16th. Don't just book for the 15th. Book for the 15th and the 16th.
It's going down Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
Moses told Pharaoh we need 3 days to be able to go out into the wilderness and serve our power the way he commands. You're going to have to get that off with your boss, with your slave master. So make sure you in the building. Cocoa Beach, Florida, April 15th to 16th, 2022. It's going down. We'll see y'all there. Shalom.
Black power, 144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000. 144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000.